Over to you.
Thank you, Ross. 20 minutes. Is it an hour meeting?
An hour and 15.
Oh, shit. I actually thought it was good, I thought I'd do my usual kind of coup where my name's Carl, I'm an addict. I thought I'd do my usual, where the kind of room's a bit busy. It's an hour meeting and you can kind of wrap up after 10 minutes and go, do you know what, let's get some more people sharing. One of them kind of looked quite well. Do you know what, I'm not alright. I'm nearly 20 years in and I'm not alright. I'm probably there's probably more lunacy going around in my head right now than there was when I first come in. And it sounds, because in the first 2 years it felt like I was having a mental breakdown here. But I'm okay in that. I'm okay in not being alright. I'm alright with my feelings. They don't, sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're uncomfortable. But it's more my thinking that gets me, If you're new around and this is your first meeting, you've had a right result because you've got so much hard-won experience in here, and it's stuff that it's really served me quite well over the years, coming in and listening to people that had more clean time than me, and I kind of didn't get the dialogue that people were talking. I can quote from the literature around kind of maladies, and all that. Talk about higher powers until the cows come home. But for me, that's, I live in fear. I live in fear, and being in this chair and talking with so many people in here, even though there's not that many, a lot of them have got clean time, it kind of, I feel threatened by that. I've got to expose myself, I can't bullshit, people in here know me, they know what I'm like, so if you are new around, please don't deprive yourself of that, the fucking life you're potentially to have, and the lives of those around you, and the people you ain't met yet, the ones, the friends you're going to have, and it's if you would have told me 20 years ago, I remember John saying to me, sitting down, and he said to me, this is the place where dreams come true, and I had one dream at that point, and that was to get a night's sleep. That was my only dream. It was to get a night's sleep, not shake, do you know what I mean? And I didn't go through detoxes and rehabs, I came here and done it through the rooms. I was given a course, I think it was called Subutex at the time, and I didn't even want to be on that. I just wanted out. I just wanted to fill my own body. I wanted out of drugs. I'd been in it. I'd been in drugs since before I was a teenager. And God willing, in another few years, I would have been off drugs longer than I was on them. Actually, I'm already there. When I say I'm not okay, I'm not. I thought. In my youth, and I thought by the time I get to 50, I'll be dead. What a result. That was my kind of, I can work till I'm 50, you sedate yourself, and I'll be, I'll die and that'll be it. I cleaned up at 33, and I thought, in my naivety, by the time I'm 50, I'll be sweet for money, I'll have more time to myself, there'll be less stress, I won't have to work as hard, and it's gone the other way. I'm more stressed now than I've ever been. I have to work harder than I ever have. And it's and I've, as a result of doing this stuff, I've got awareness and I'm responsible, and people come to me for stuff. They come to me. I'm kind of supportive to people. This is extended out to my family and to my friends, and it's I think the last 3 years was one of the toughest times. I had a father who was in hospital dying. While he was in hospital, kind of going through what he was going through, his sister passed away, you're trying to tell him and he remembers, then he don't remember. It was fucking nuts. My uncle passed away about a year before that, and then kind of in the last 6 months, a really good friend of mine passed away with cancer, and then my ex-partner, I got a call I got a call to say she had passed away on New Year's, and when you just laying there, and it's not often, I'll be honest, it's not often I pray and meditate. I don't have the patience to meditate. I know people say improve your conscious contact with God. I don't believe I need to. I'm not a wrong, and I don't go around, I don't hurt people. Do you know what I mean? It's not, if I try and meditate, the God of my understanding will kick in and go, get out and fucking help someone. Do you know what I mean? I don't get much respite, and I have, I don't, I'm hesitant to say it, but I have kind of, the noise in my head, it's crippling sometimes, and it's really, but I've also learned to kind of love it as well and have a laugh with it, and as much as I know it wants me dead, it wants me hanging on the end of the rope, it wants me using I kind of have a laugh. It's almost like babysitting the devil. That's what it feels like sometimes. It's like babysitting the devil, you know. And you know how some you babysit your friend, you know, the naughty stuff. It's like, right, you carry on with getting that fucking green and gold out, because I know you don't like it. You know, you kind of threaten it with a bit of step work, and it calms down for 10 minutes. You know. And I've just finished another step one, and I'm kind of, I haven't just finished it. What I've done was work my buttocks off to do this step one. I've got 2 questions from the end and thought, right, if you finish this, you've then got to read it out. That's going to take like 2 or 3 hours, so don't finish it. You know, it's because my time is, I don't get any time to myself. It's like, you know, I was saying to Julia, that I don't like doing chairs in a week, because I know I rush around all the time, and I know it's only a matter of time before it's going to catch up with me, but I'm fucking, if I told you about my Saturdays, they're nuts, they're absolutely nuts. You know, gym, shopping, food shop, taking my mum out, trying to look after her since my dad passed it, it's fucking nuts. And then at a meeting, then I'm with friends, and then I'm with my partner. It's like, come Sunday, 2 o'clock, everything's done, and that's it, that's my time. That's kind of what I get from maybe 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock onwards. That's the only bit of kind of respite I get. I'm a bit frazzled. I'm actually quite frazzled, because I've kind of, there was loads of stuff I wanted to say, but you know, I have an head that tells me my recovery, you know, I'm still sick. I know I'm still sick, but it judges me while I try to do a chair. You know, it's all right. When I'm out there and I'm on my own and I'm walking, and I am walking a lot at the moment because I'm on this fucking mad diet, because those Fox's biscuits, I mean, fucking biscuits and the snacks and the crisps and all that, and I'm 50, I forget how old I am, I think I'm 51. I'm 52, I'm not sure, I think I'm 51. And I'm kind of recently I've noticed my body's changing shape, and I don't like it, and I'm trying to hold on to this fucking body from 20 years ago that's long since gone anyway. So, you know, so I'm starving myself during, you know, I'm going to the gym, having a banana, walking an hour to work, not having lunch, walking an hour at lunch, and I'm doing the proper junkie walk. Do you know, the walk you used to do at going to school? Because that's the only way I ever had a six-pack, was when I was on gear. So I'm kind of doing that, and then after work I'm doing an hour, and then I'm just eating kind of no bread, you know, bit of salad with protein, and the biscuits have gone as well. I can't keep biscuits in the house. You know, it's funny, because I heard someone share, when I was about 3 years clean, and I thought, what the fuck's he talking about? He's off his fucking head. I'm here for drugs, not biscuits. You know, and so many years down the line, there I am, because I feel disgusted with myself. I do a food shop, buy 2 packs of biscuits and a tub of ice cream, and think, that's it, that's your sugar quota for the week. This is on a Saturday. By Sunday night, it's gone. Monday, I'm walking home from work, I'll get another pack. It'll either be a pack of them or the chocolate ginger ones, you know, them ones. And with all good intentions, it'll be, I'll have 1 or 2 a night. And I actually convinced myself, you know, that it'll be 1 or 2 a night, and it's not, it's the whole pack. So I can't have any fucking crisps or sugar or biscuits or chocolate in the ass. So I'm not most happy at the moment, because I'm not eating any fucking sugar, and it slaughters me. But I'm the kind of addict that when I come in here, and I don't know if this is bog standard, when I make friends, I end up in Codependence Anonymous, and I have to read that. When I start dating women, I end up in SAA. You know, that's, you know, there's God knows what other books are on my shelf. I've had to put them all away because I've got a partner now, so I'm a little bit like, she can't, you know, it's been a little time since I've had a flare-up, but I think, you know, she walks in and sees like, what's this, what's all that about? I've got to kind of explain myself, and I'm hesitant to do that, you know. She knows, I mean, she knows me well anyway, she knows me well. But just trying to be like a real man around relationships as well. My relationships in recovery were fucking warped. You know, I was on the dating site, swiping like a lunatic, having sex all the time, you know, and it fucking slaughtered me, absolutely slaughtered me. You know, this illness comes out in every single area of my life. It comes out in work, it comes out in family, it comes out in relationships. Fuck no, it'll come out in my chair, I would imagine. It'll come out in my recovery, money, it will come out everywhere, you know, and I've curbed, you know, I watch porn, obviously, you know, because I'm an addict, I'm a man, and you know, one partner's not enough, and I have to act out. But now, since they put that child lock on it, I've been sweet, because I ain't got the internet doors, and I'm shit with computers, so you know, if you try and go on there's a locker, it says like prove your age and all that. I'm like, fuck that. It just sounds like a lot of work, so it's kind of gone by the wayside, you know what I mean? So now it's fucking nuts, it really is. So what I couldn't do for myself, now they've put a child, I don't have to watch it anymore, because that's my mentality. It really is, that's my mentality, you know? But my relationship with women and you know, I don't know about other men in me or other women, you know, my relationship with people was just fucking, it was so kind of undeveloped, and my relationship with myself, my relationship with everything was so undeveloped. It was like it's been a really, you know, doing the step work has kind of opened up my awareness, and I'm kind of aware of stuff, and because I can hurt people really quick, especially verbally. You know, if I feel like I'm being attacked or I've got to defend myself, I will, you know, and I've studied counselling, I've studied all these fucking Bion and all these Nixon and shit like that, and I'll shut it down and I'll go right into this fucking spiel, and it just baffles, you know. I mean, it won't baffle anyone here because you probably all read the same fucking books. I'll just look like I'd say it if I tried it with anyone in here. But there's a part of me that when I feel threatened, I will attack. I'll just attack, and I don't mean, you know, it's, and I'm not a violent person. I'm not like that. But if I feel threatened, and I can feel threatened, you know, it's funny. I had a friend in recovery, and we stopped talking years ago, and I'm not even sure why we stopped talking. It's funny. I walked past him on the way up here, and I clocked him. I heard him, and you know, I looked round as if to say, like, I wanted to say hello. And he can't, you know, he didn't say anything, and I'm not sure if he saw me. And then when I walked in here, I got a phone call. Because I walked away thinking, he looked like he wanted to kill me. In my head, he wants to kill me. Everyone wants to fucking kill me, you know, everyone wants me, you know. Not kill me, but just like, I thought, okay, don't, you know. And then when I come in, I got a phone call, and it was him, and he said, hey, you know, and I said, I'll call you back after the meeting, which was really nice, because you know, I do value people in here. I do value kind of the friendships that I've made in here. But I'm also all right being rejected by people. When people stop talking to me, I'm all right with that. I'm kind of okay with that. It don't have the same effect on me now anymore. You know, there was a time where it probably would have floored me. And for a long time it hasn't. You know, I've got, you know, I kind of like to trash my recovery, but if I'm really honest, it's really served me well in terms of, like, when I said I was underdeveloped, you know, I couldn't cope with anything, you know, I could deal with the feelings, just couldn't cope. I'd go home and I'd be like, you know, what's going on, I'd have to pull it apart. Now I don't, you know, I can be rejected, I can be, you know, if people slag me off behind my back, I'd probably forgive them. I wouldn't care. It don't even touch the sides anymore. You know, it's just, and I don't know if I think there's a part of me, I don't know if it's the recovery or the illness, that the illness just says, fuck them, who are they? Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? You know, it's like that kind of thing. You know, and I really, although things ain't great at the moment, and they haven't been for a few years, because I was kind of, you know, I've taken risks with money I have banked, I've invested in something, I've done all this stuff, I've taken risks because my life is just getting a bit, and I've achieved some amazing things, I really have, for someone who just wanted to get a night's sleep, do you know what I mean? I've done things that people who grow up our kind of little firm, they don't do. It wasn't, you grew up, you fucking worked, you had a council flat, that was it, you took your drugs, you took your alcohol, and that was it. And I've kind of come out of that and done some, you know, some really, really stuff that I'm proud of, that I had a dream when I was a kid to do something, I've gone and done it, and I've met great people doing it, and it's been an absolute fucking buzz. You know, I invested, I had loads of money, not using crack and heroin, not using, I mean the dating, I probably would have had a bit more if I weren't dating, but not using crack and heroin and working is a fucking great recipe to build money up, you know. And I don't mean vast amounts, it was enough to invest in something, so I've kind of swapped this money to kind of be wealthier on paper. You know, sometimes I just sit there and I think, what you've done, you've been knocked, you silly cunt. It looks like you know, the money's gone, all you've got is a bit of fucking paper with writing on it. You know, you're fucking mad. But I took a risk. You know, I don't want to get stagnant in my recovery. And it was the other John that said to me, you know, if I could go, I think it was it might have been John going back and taking risks, you know. So yeah, and I'm just about to become a great uncle to my niece who I used to babysit. Do you know what I mean? And then she was probably about 6 or 7. Probably not even that when I got off, I think it was, off the gear. So I'm about to become, you know, we're going to have a baby shower. You know, she's already grafting me for babysitting and all that. And I can't wait, honestly, I really can't wait. I've got a daughter, and as a result of my using, I don't know if it is, I mean, I get the odd message on social media. I'd like more with her. I'd like, you know, I'm a family person. I kind of grew up in quite a close knit family. She doesn't live close, she's a little way away. I'd like to travel, I'd like to see her. She's had a child, so I've become a grandfather in recovery. I've never met the child, and there's part of me that's really scared if it ever does happen. I want it to happen, but there's a part of me that's really scared. Like, how do I connect with this person who I've been absent for so long? Do you know what I mean? And it fucking petrifies me. Not much, you know, that is probably the one thing that petrifies me the most, and is part of me chases it, and then I'm like, well, okay, you made it clear, this is kind of where it's at. But yeah, so maybe, I don't know, maybe in time that'll happen, but in the meantime I'm going to have a great nephew, if my niece is having a kid, a great nephew to kind of, and I love kids, honestly. I get to go to all these fucking shitty places, you know, like when you can't go as an adult, do you know what I mean? You know, Corum's Fields where you fucking end up breaking your arms on pulleys that are homemade and all that shit. And, you know, I'm looking around for days out. I mean, the kid ain't even been born yet, do you know what I mean? And I'm already kind of planning where we're going to go. And when I see, yeah, do you know what, I should probably, I don't know what to end this chair on. I was so frazzled on the way down here, and then seeing my pal spam me out. And then I was kind of talking outside, so I reached in the lane, I slagged off life coaches. I thought, I bet there's life coaches in it. And I thought, and it's that age-old thing, that humble yourself or be humiliated. So I've walked in here humiliated and fucking, you know, but it's what's in my head is what's in my head, what I think of myself, what I think I am, is a fucking million miles from what I am. It really is, and the evidence is there. You know, if I sat my family in here, if I sat some of my family and said, look, you know, and I think, yeah, it's really nice, especially when my father was dying, to be, because it went on for a little while, to be there and to be available for family, and to be, not to bring drama, not to be running off and scoring, because I've had that before when a family member, when I'm fucking nowhere, I'm off scoring, coming back, da-da-da, and just being there and, you know, and stand by his side. And when he passed away, I was holding his hand. You know, I held his hand as he passed away. And this is someone I didn't get on with until I was in recovery. You know, I had some really kind of lovely conversations with him. I say lovely, he was, you know, dying, but I had some, you know, even within 2 days of dying, he was barely alive and he was still fucking laughing. He was still having a laugh, do you know what I mean? He was still joking. And I'm probably going to be the same, because I am, you know, I am a joker. Do you know what? I just feel like I could have done a chair that was a lot better than that, but I'm sure people will share back, and I'm going to get paranoid now. And think, it's a fucking dig. Oh, I should have said that. Are they fair that back? Because it's all about me, innit? I've still got that fucking self-centered balance going on. You know, I won't be going home meditating. I won't be caring what anyone fucking thinks of me on my chair in here, because it's not productive. I've got other stuff to worry about. If you are new around, you know, please come back, because it's such an important place to come and get a fucking life, really. Oh, look at that.